Melissa, you want to kick it off?
Sure. So we'll just start off with some prayer to start things off for tonight. So, okay. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for bringing us together tonight and allowing us some time in our busy schedules to have some fellowship and build this community. We ask that you bless this meeting and all those in it. And we hope that you will speak to all of us individually to reveal your goodness, to calm our hearts and our minds. Help us to have self-awareness of when we're falling into temptation or just into bad habits. And then have us turn quickly back to you, Lord. Set us free from any comparison, whether it's to others or even ourselves. And if you can make our hearts tender where they may be hard, your righteousness transcends all of our efforts and understanding, and we're so thankful for your sacrifice. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
So thank you, everyone. This is our first meeting of the fall season, and Ashley and I are really excited to have everyone. Just to start off, I think I'd sent a couple emails tonight, and it looks like maybe not everyone received them prior to this evening, which I'm so sorry for. But yeah, just to kind of give you an idea, Ashley and I came together about 2 seasons ago. It was Ashley's idea to start a mom's group because Eden didn't have one. And she had been to other churches where they had a really strong mom community. And she just felt with the growing moms at Eden that we could really use the same sort of support and connection with one another. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of how things had started out. Her and I both have a really big passion for moms, in the earlier stages, when we're just starting to build our families. And, with that alignment, here we are doing this series. Looking forward to getting to know all you some more.
Thanks, Melissa. And hi, Nicole. Thanks for joining.
Hi.
You didn't miss anything. We're just getting started.
Okay.
So I'm Ashley. I'm also one of the co-leaders of the moms group. And yeah, I think our hope for this group is a place that you can come just as you are, no need to dress up or anything. And I know we've all been through a long day by the time we get here. So I just want to say thank you for showing up. I know it's not easy, and to show up for you and your spiritual growth. And so we want this to be a place where, you can make friends, but also have intentional time where we are coming together, no matter your faith background, but we're going to be, going through a study and looking to the Bible and what it has to say about growing in our spiritual walk as moms and how that can fit in. So I hope that can be a nice space for you all. So why don't we get started with a round of introductions. For everybody, I would love to hear your name, a little bit about your children, where you're from, if you're not originally from the Bay Area, and if you go to Eden, when you started, and how you heard about Eden. And if not, maybe also, sorry, this is too much, but also what you'd be looking for in a group. I'm curious what brought you here today. So I'll go ahead and kick it off. And then maybe I'll may have to just, actually we'll popcorn to people. So, okay, my name is Ashley. I have 2 kids. I have Francis, who is 3, and Julian, who is 1. I am born and raised in the Bay Area, so I grew up in Saratoga, so not too far from Eden. And I started attending Eden probably last fall. I found Eden through Google search. So I was looking for something just in very close proximity to where I live. I didn't want to go very far. And what I'm looking for in this group, I think I just kind of shared. But just to say a little bit more about my history, I was able to join a mom's group over at Menlo Church during my first year postpartum, thick of the pandemic. And I just have to say that it was kind of a lifesaver for me to have. It was a group of first-time moms all together. And just to be able to have that space together, because I didn't have any friends in my personal life that were, necessarily having kids at the same time. So it was really nice to have that space. Yeah. I'm going to popcorn to Segan.
Hi. Hi, so I'm Segan. I have a 3-year-old son named Lucius. He is currently asleep because his bedtime was about half an hour ago. I've lived in the Bay Area for a long time. Okay. Thank you, Ashley. That helps. So I've lived in the Bay Area for a long time. I've kind of traveled all over. I was born in Europe, Switzerland. And then we came to the United States when I was a year old, and then to California when I was 2. And so for most of my life, I've lived in traveling between the Bay Area and then Maricopa County in Arizona. And then I've been to a few other states and countries as well. But I've been living in the Bay Area pretty consistently for at least the last 23 minus 16 is. That amount of years. Let's see. So I started attending Eden in 2020. There was a flyer on my door. And that was in April of 2020, I believe, or no, 2021. I'm sorry. It was like the first service after the pandemic, like the first service that was back in the building was the one I attended. And that was Loki. I don't know what I'm looking for in a group, honestly. I just I was a part of a couple of Bible study groups, but I stopped attending them as regularly as I should, and they're like Bay Area Bible study groups, and I'm just hoping to find I don't know. Not necessarily a reason to keep coming back, because I have a reason. It's just that sometimes when it's time to do something, just the impetus to actually get going and click the link, it's a little iffy. So we will see what happens. Okay. I guess Kayla.
Muted. Hello, everyone. It's so good to be with you. My name is Kayla, and I am a mom of 2 precious boys. They are 7 and 9 years old. And let me see what your other questions were. Ashley, how we... oops. I'm so bad at Zoom. Okay. Kids, where you're from. I grew up in Bakersfield, California, Central California, about 4 hours south of here. I've been at Eden. How you heard about it? Heard about it from my husband. Just kidding. And then what you're looking for in a group. So yeah, I would just say, I just really want to say thank you to Melissa and Ashley. This group is such a blessing. We really believe in the power of community and groups, and we love moms so much. Moms are so wonderful, and they just work so hard to take care of their family and everyone. And I think I'm excited for you ladies. I think this is a space of refreshing and reconnecting after all the hard things that moms do. And so, yeah, very excited for you guys. Oh, and I'm going to pass it to Sandra.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Mm.
Okay, you can hear me. So I'm Cassandra. Let's see. I have 2 children. I have a bonus daughter who's 11, who thinks she's 21. And let's see, I have almost 2-year-old. My son will be turning 2 on the 12th of this month. So we have like that big gap of age. Teenager and a toddler who's about to go to terrible twos, and it's a hot mess. And I love how your son's asleep. Mine is still up, causing havoc because he goes to bed at 9:30. And it's funny because his babysitter has judgment of Vlad when he picked up today. She's like, you know, he had a rough morning. Well, what time did he go to bed? Oh, he went to bed like around 10 yesterday because during the weekend, he won't nap with us. But at daycare, he's on a schedule and he naps. So I was like, we just got judged. I'm like, it's okay. It's all good. But it explains it because when I was pregnant with him at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, that's when he was active. So I see the correlation there. And it's fine because I'm a night owl anyways. So we've been at Eden. So virtually we found that Eden through a flyer in our mail. And so we saw it for Easter in 2021 or 2022. And so because my son was newborn with COVID going around, we were going online. So from Easter 2022 till this past Easter, I think, we came in person to start worshiping in person because we felt comfortable. He was old enough. I was like, we need to get back to church. But no, my husband and I both went to 2 different churches before getting married. He went to Cathedral of Faith, the Blessed Side campus, which was East San Jose. And then I was born and raised at a church called Antioch Baptist Church, which is in downtown San Jose, and it's the oldest African-American church. So I have Baptist roots. My husband has Baptist roots as well. And I've been active ever since I was little with choir. I'm still on chairs of committees and whatnot, very active in church. I was taught that you always, give back and serve the Lord. So I want my children to see that too. And they've seen that. So we talk about it and you're like, you're going to do this. But we've been at Eden like in person for a year, and it was amazing to go back in person. And, to meet you guys, I was like, I feel like I've known you guys because we would see you guys every Sunday online. So really nice to get back in person. And so we wanted to find a church that our whole family could go to that was like actually somewhere near us because we live in West San Jose too, by Prospect. So we're like, we need something local because my church is, Antioch is downtown, and his church is all the way in deep East San Jose. I was like, no, we're not. And we need something with family because my church is an older church and his is just too far. So it was like that nice bridge to, bring our family together. And I'm slowly bringing my dad over too. So that's how we found Eden. And mom group is nice. I had friends and sorority sisters who had babies, but they're, older than, my son and, younger than Roxy. And, trying to find, I think I spoke to Ashley. I was telling them, having that mom connection is something different. I've been in like women's Bible studies when I was engaged, and it was like a different thing. And I felt still young. They're kind of, older, not older, but, like 40s, 50s, 60s. And it's like that gap. I need someone in my, there are different seasons of their lives, about to retire. I'm in the workforce still. I'm going to just to find that support of moms who are going through the same thing that we are going through, because it's definitely what is it? I was like, there ain't no like motherhood. This is definitely a challenge on job learning experience. Even though I'm a CHAD major and I'm a preschool teacher, total bar change. I've always worked with older preschoolers, and when I had my son, I was like, I don't remember any of my infant toddler classes, especially infant. I felt like so blind. I was like, I should know what I'm doing because I'm, I work with kids, but infancy is a whole nother stage. And that was definitely rough. And now like the toddler stage is like, oh, snaps. It's definitely a interesting ride, but just to find that, connection, to meet people, to realize, hey, we're all in the same boat here. It takes a village to raise, children, but also I feel like we need an outlet as moms because we're super moms. So always working, whether sick, tired, hungry. It is what it is. I think I answered all the questions. Oh, born and raised in San Jose. So South San Jose native. Okay, Sarah, your turn.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sarah. I have 2 boys. So my oldest is Jordan. He is turning 3 next month. And my youngest is pretty fresh. Noah is about to turn 6 months. My husband and I are originally from Canada. We moved here 12 years ago. Have kind of lived up and down the Bay. We were most recently in San Mateo. We were going to Menlo Church at the time. Prior to that, we were at Highway, so we were closer to kind of Mountain View area. And now we're south in San Jose, so kind of hopping all over the place. And more recently have started going to Westgate. I recently heard about Eden through a mutual friend with Stacy. With Ashley. Stacy's a mutual friend. And at that time, we were kind of church hopping. And like with kids programs, like you don't want to move so much because once the kids like used to the church daycare, you're kind of like hesitant to keep moving around. So I think that's kind of why we kind of stuck at Westgate for a bit. I was hoping to check out Eden, but thank you for having an outsider come to Mom's Group. I think what I'm personally looking for in a Mom's Group, I think it's just like a time of like an intentional time for myself. Just because life is so busy and like, we just go through the day like routine working and then like pick up the kids and then do the whole like dinner and night routine. And then by the end of the day, like just like tired and then we go to bed. I'm not a night owl anymore. So I sleep pretty early. I barely, if my husband and I don't schedule time to talk, then like we barely talk. So I think this is just like an anchor in the week to like have time for myself, and just to connect with other moms. I think it'll just be very beneficial to like, it's very different from a co-ed group or even just like a regular life group. Because a lot of the topics I imagine will be very like centered and focused around like struggles and challenges that moms face. So I think, I'm just looking for like a point to like center myself and, share with other moms and just have like that support, system. So, so I'm looking forward to. And I will popcorn to Nicole.
Hi, everyone. So I have 2 girls. My oldest is a 7th grader. She's 12. And the youngest is in 5th grade. She's 10. So a little bit different stage, different busyness. Now the challenge is getting through all their after school activities and getting the homework done and still getting them in bed. So I'm hoping they'll get themselves in bed because they have sports games and other things and are exhausted. But we had volleyball game and swim team tonight for both of them. So, and my husband is at church doing a men's group right now. So they are on their own. We'll see how it goes. I grew up in Moss Landing, about an hour south of here. And we've been living in the San Jose area, though, the last let's see, 19 years since pretty soon after we got married. And we've only been at Eden though since last fall. So pretty new. We were looking for a new church, and I don't know if you've heard Pastor Bob speak before, but he was our old pastor at Calvary Los Gatos years ago, and he recommended, he's like, you got to go check out this church. And yeah, he thinks very highly of you guys, you and Daniel. And so, yeah, we've been very, very happy here, and our girls are going to start being youth leaders and working with the kids too. So they'll get to meet some of your kids. They're excited to do that for the first time. And then let's see. Yeah, I've just been, it came out of actually, we don't attend Venture, but one of my daughters is at their school there. And so I did throughout the pandemic. It was nice to be part of a women's group through there. They had an online one that lasted pretty much the entire pandemic. So I was looking for another moms group. I'm glad that you guys started this one. And been looking forward to getting to know other moms at Eden specifically. And same thing, intentional time for myself to slow down and connect to God's word and just have that space and for myself every week. Okay, and then Melissa, you didn't get to go yet, did you?
Didn't. Thank you. So hi everyone, I am Melissa, and yeah, I have two boys. I have an 8-year-old, he just turned 8, Christian, and a 2-year-old, Roman. And yeah, they're both really active boys. My oldest, he plays year-round soccer, and we just had to cut him off. He can only do 2 sports. So it's soccer, and he really wants to do baseball. But I think if we were to let him, he would be doing flag football and whatever else his heart desired. We did try that, by the way. Crazy times. Not sustainable. So I am originally from the East Coast. I'm from Philly. Yeah, I moved out here probably about 6 years ago, maybe a little bit more now. And Christian was about 15 months old. My husband got a job opportunity, and within like a month and a half, we packed up and left. And we had just moved into our new house we had bought 6 months prior. So it was a crazy decision. Our family, well, my mom was very mad at us, but everyone else was kind of stunned. And then, like I said, my mom was just mad. How could you leave? But we really like it here. And intend to just be here. No intention on leaving or moving back. And, you know, when we first moved here, we lived in San Francisco. As a lot of times people do, it's like you either do San Jose or you go to San Francisco. So we were in SF for a bit. And while we were there, we attended a church called Epic Church. I was a part of the moms group there, which was a really neat experience. And then once we realized that we needed more space with a second child, we came down here to Campbell, and Epic recommended Eden to us. So another recommendation from some pastors, Kayla. And yeah, we've been really happy with it. We've been attending for about a year now. And what I'm looking for is, you know, a little bit of what everyone mentioned already. And it's really just, you know, not just growing, like in my own faith, but being able to connect with other women, and maybe help in their walk in faith as well. And just creating some friendships, making some mom friends, you know, maybe going out, having some lunch or dinner on occasion, and just, yeah, enjoying life together. So that's it.
Thanks, everyone. So great to hear everyone's story, and I'm excited to get to know everyone more, obviously, as the weeks go on. So today is more kind of an introductory thing. So we're going to be talking about, the series that we're going to go through and a bunch of like logistical stuff. Every week I will, I believe really strongly in ending on time. So 9:30 is our normal, but today might be a little bit earlier, just because we don't have like a discussion going on and stuff. But today we have a very special guest who is Kayla. She is Pastor Daniel's wife, and I just thought it'd be really great for her to come. Kayla's been a great support for our group, which has been awesome and so appreciated. And so, yeah, we just wanted to invite Kayla here to introduce herself so that you guys can also get to know her, and also opportunity for you to ask her any questions as well.
Hello. Yes. Ashley, would you like me to start working through some of the questions that you sent me, or how did you want to do that?
Yeah. I gave Kayla a couple of prompts to talk through. So yeah, Kayla, I think you can go ahead and just jump into it.
Okay. All right. Well, it is so fun to be with you, and I just love Sarah Westgate. They have been a wonderful partner church to us. We were a startup church a few years ago. We're not that old, and Westgate has been wonderful. And Melissa, you mentioned Epic. We love the Pilgrims so much. They were a huge part of our startup church story, and so we love them dearly. And yeah, I love these connections around the Bay Area with other churches. And so welcome to you, Sarah. And I'm excited to be with you tonight. So I received a few questions from Ashley and Melissa. So the first question was, why is Moms Group important for our church? And so there's a child here. Hey. I've got them blurred. I've never done that before. That's pretty cool. But okay, so why Moms Group is important. Well, I wanted to tell you a quick story. When Dan and I were married for 1 week, we moved out of state across the country for Dan to go to grad school. And so we literally were married a week, and then we moved. We didn't know anyone. We moved to Texas. We were complete newlyweds. Dan has told stories in messages before where like how hard the first year was. Yeah, very much a hard year. We are two very strong-willed people. And so trying to figure out how to be married in that first year was just, I don't know. And then we were out of state, didn't know anyone, but we found a church when we moved there. And we got involved in a small group. We formed a small group with a couple other couples. And these friends that God gave us in this small group, to this day, the two couples, the wives, are people that I trust so dearly. Like, I'm telling you, if I died in a car crash, I would want them to raise my kids. I trust them in every way. I would seek counsel from them if I was going through, the hardest things in my life. God just gave us such a gift of friendship. And it's sad that we live so far away now. We're pretty far apart, but we get together, we stay in touch, and they became just such a dear part of our life that I can't imagine life without. And I'm just saying that because we really believe in the power of community, and we really see that. Dan mentioned this on Sunday, that to say no to a group is to say no. You miss out on the opportunity to be cared for and to be known in a way. And what I love about this Moms Group is, the calling to be a mom. There's nothing like it. Like, it is a life of just daily sacrifices all the time. It's so hard in so many ways. Like, there is no such thing as a day off or like a sick day. Like, it doesn't matter. It's just a constant, it pulls more out of us than we probably feel like we have to give all the time. But at the same time, it's so rewarding, and we get to see all these wonderful things that God has created in our children. And so, but yeah, I think a place for moms to be refreshed is really important to me. When my kids were babies, we were starting Eden, and doing all this crazy stuff. And it just, I just know that like those early years, those foundational formative years are so important for the kids and for the moms to experience community. So definitely believe in that. And I feel like I'm talking a lot. Do we want to like have some, how do you want to do this, Ashley?
Does anyone have any questions for Kayla or about Eden? Well, Kayla, I really enjoyed what you have to say, so I don't think you're talking too much.
Well,
Yeah.
let me know. Okay, I'll keep answering the questions, the couple other questions that you sent me, but let me know, and we can. Okay, so another question that you shared was an experience that shaped your motherhood. I was having a hard time answering this question, but I will say that I had the most wonderful mom on earth. She is in heaven. She is just such an incredible person. And so everything that I could ever hope to be as a mom, I learned from her. She was just absolutely wonderful. And I think that right now, this season, I'm watching my kids grow up so fast. And I think it's just such a process of trusting God and trusting our kids to God, because they're getting older. And so they're at a point where it's time for them to form their own faith. And I just want them to love Jesus. Like, I really feel like everything else in their life will fall into place if they're following God, and that he'll guide them, and just lead them on the plans that he has for them. And so I think that's what I long for them. And my mom was a wonderful role model. You asked me about some Bible verses that I live by. So the book of Proverbs has got to be one of my favorite books. I don't know if anyone is inspired by Proverbs, but I am just very, very inspired by them all the time. There's so much practical wisdom and goodness and just life lessons there, that just all of life. But the Proverbs 31 woman is extremely inspiring to me. She wakes up early, she works hard, she takes care of her family, she has profitable earnings, she just does all these things. She honors her husband honors her. That's a really inspiring passage for me. And I guess right now I'm just really into a lot of the Old Testament, all these stories of heroes, of just people who were so brave and courageous and faced incredible obstacles, are really inspiring to me right now. And so I'm loving, actually this Sunday, we're starting a new series on Joshua called Battles and Blessings. And it's going to be so encouraging. And so, as a mom, there's blessings all the time. And then also, people are just navigating so many hard things all the time. And so, I'm excited for that series. And the last question that you sent me was how Eden started. And so Daniel grew up in the Bay Area, and he loves the Bay Area a lot. I also love the Bay Area. But yeah, he grew up in Sunnyvale, and then they also lived in East San Jose some. But then he was gone from the Bay Area for a long time. And when we were newlyweds and we were living in Texas, he would always talk about the Bay Area because he would think there's such a large population. There are great churches in the Bay Area, but there's not enough churches to effectively reach the culture and the city and everything. And so he just would always think about that. He loved looking up churches on his phone when we were not living in this area and just kind of being like, oh, look at, there's this new startup church. Like, I'm so excited. I hope they reach the city and all this stuff. And then one of the classes that he took was on church planting and fundraising and all this stuff. And I don't know, it's just like kind of a process. Dan had taken a job at our home church that we love dearly, in Bakersfield, and he was serving there, and we just kind of started a conversation with our pastors to like kind of ask questions of what that could look like to start a church. They had started the church that we were a part of that really means a lot to us, called Valley in Bakersfield, and it just like became a partnership. They have been wonderful support and partners to us. One of the pastors is on the board of Eden. He came to speak this past summer. That's Pastor Phil. And so, yeah, they have just been wonderful. And so we transitioned off of staff from that church, and we moved up to the Bay Area. And then we started Eden from scratch as a just true startup. Hey, Dan is also at the men's group, Nicole. So the kids are playing behind me. But anyway, so yeah, we started Eden because we wanted to join in the work in the Bay Area of reaching people. We really have a heart for people who don't have a background in church or Christianity. And so anytime someone comes and they're like, I have no idea why I'm here, like this could not be further from like what I'm like, yes, that's exactly why we started this church. And it doesn't mean that it's not for people who already found Jesus and, you know, have been following Jesus for years, but it just means that we really have a heart for the city, because so many people in our city have not gotten the chance yet to meet Jesus and to hear about how much he loves them. And so that's very much why we exist as a church. And I think that's all I can possibly tell you. So yes.
Thanks, Kayla. Thank you so much. I think that's really important context. I think when a lot of us are fairly new to Eden, I think. So it's really nice to kind of hear where all the history came from. Any questions for Kayla?
I was wondering how you went from, you know, newlyweds who maybe butted heads a little bit to let's start a church. Okay, a lot.
Let's see. There was a solid 9 years in between, so we had some time to grow. But yeah, I think we had couples in our life who were older and wiser, who had such an impact on us. And so seeing the way that they interacted with each other, I gotta say, the marriage course that Eden offers, that's from a church in London. That content is just pure gold as far as like conflict resolution, communication. The other thing that was just profound for our marriage was setting up a regular date night. And I think you ladies know this. I love what you said, Sarah, when it's like we barely like connect with each other, like just catch up and connect, and you know, everybody's just running really hard in the Bay Area, and so being able to like have that space to reconnect is really powerful. So yeah, I think we definitely had a hard first year of marriage. So it was a growing process of probably being like, okay, neither of us want this. So how can we get better? And we were both committed to not bailing on it, but also we needed guidance and, you know, just tools. And so stuff like the marriage course, content, books together were really helpful. So yeah.
Anything else? Well, Kayla, I thought maybe you could share. I thought the work schedule that you and Dan have was very interesting. Both Kayla and Daniel work full time for the church. So you want to share a little bit what your guys' schedule looks like these days?
Sure. Yeah, we do a staggered schedule. I know a few people who do this, and it's pretty effective. So Dan goes in pretty early so that he can finish by 2:30, and then he picks up the kids. I get the kids ready, and then I get there at about 8:30, and then I wrap up the workday, and get home in time for sports and all that good stuff. But yeah, that's how we kind of make it work. We try to maximize the time that they're in school, and then we just overlap the few hours beyond that. So yeah.
But that was kind of unique, but it's cool to see. Yeah, obviously that you guys are working.
Yeah, everybody making it work. I know a lot of people who, or they do like a really early morning shift, remote, and get stuff done before they head into work. Everybody's creative and finds different ways of going about it. But yeah.
Well, thanks for joining, Kayla. Is there a good way that people can reach you if they have any questions or get in contact with you? I know Kayla's always standing in the front on Sundays.
Yes. I love connecting. So I'm always out there on Sundays, and but yeah, or by email, katondo@eden.church, if there's anything that I can do. So yeah.
Thank you. Well, we're gonna go through a bunch of like group logistics and stuff. So Kayla, you don't need to stay if you don't want to. Feel free to hop off. But yeah, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much for having me. It was wonderful to connect with you ladies, and I will see you on Sunday. Have a great week. And yeah, all right.
Thanks, Kayla.
Okay, bye.
Thank you.
She's so sweet. I hope that actually Melissa and I just got coffee with her one-on-one for the first time about a month or so ago. And so I highly recommend. I think a lot of times the pastor and the pastor's wife can seem a little out of reach or something. But one thing that is great about Eden is just the size of it, and that they are very open. So I think definitely invite you all to just get coffee with them sometime. Okay. Any questions before we jump into like the group and what we're going to be doing over the next several weeks? Cool. Okay. So this season, I started out the group in spring. We kept it very casual with like no agenda or anything like that. And it was a really good time for everyone to come together, share. I mean, we all have so much that can happen within a given week to talk about. So it was a really great space for that. But I think this season we wanted to try kind of getting a little more I don't know, I want to say organized, but just having something that we kind of focus on and something to guide us. So we're trying this for the first time, and definitely very open to feedback kind of throughout and also at the end. But we found a series that's called Breathing Room. This is the devotional book that goes with it. And basically it's a 6-week series, and there's a short video for each week. So that's what we'll be doing each week is we will start with the short video. No need to do any like homework before you get here. We'll watch the video, and then there'll be discussion questions after. This devotional is optional. We did send the link out for it if you would like to. What it has is it has a daily devotional. If you would like to continue, like if you don't have a devotional right now and you want something to do every single day, this might be a really good idea. It's about $15 or something like that. But we didn't want to have to like require everyone to invest in this if it's not, if you don't want to. And so it more allows you to kind of go deeper into what we're talking about every week. The reason it's called Breathing Room, a lot of it is centered around just this idea that we're so overexhausted, overextended, and especially I think living in the Bay Area, I think we can all tend towards that kind of culture. So it's really challenging us to create some breathing room. So even in times where it's like, there's no way I can, drop this or drop that, or there's no way that I can, it really invites you to kind of make room for actually God to work and to allow yourself to give yourself a pace and a lifestyle that feels like you can actually breathe and relax. And I know, depending on what stage of motherhood, that might sound nearly impossible. But I think what I love about this is that it is like, it's kind of God, allowing God to step in and say, you know, with me, it is possible, even though it may not seem like it. So it can be kind of scary. It's going to cover various topics like relationships and finances even. So I like the practical aspect of it too. So that's what we'll be going through. So we're going to meet for 10 weeks though. So you might be wondering what the other weeks are for, since this has 6 weeks of material. And so on the other weeks, I will transition to Melissa, who will go into more of other stuff beyond this study.
Yeah, so we do have 2 weeks where we don't have, you know, a set agenda. So we definitely think it would be a nice idea for us to do some sort of service project. In the previous season, we did some organizational work, I guess you could say, in some of the kids' rooms where the kids have their Sunday meetings. And, you know, Ashley kind of laughed about that. Actually, looking back, it's kind of funny. It's like, oh yeah, leave it to the moms to be the ones that are organizing and cleaning up. But yeah, it was about an hour and a half worth of work. And there were like 5 of us moms, and we just kind of like tore apart the closets, reorganized it for all the people who serve on Sundays. And they greatly appreciated it. Yeah, I guess I'll say, if you have anything in mind or something that you're really excited to maybe help out with at the church, definitely bring it to me. Otherwise, I will just reach out to, you know, the Elenas and the Kaylas, and just figure out where we can maybe help out, and whether it's something in the physical church or maybe something outside where we interact with the local community. Everything's kind of on the table. So would love to get in that with everyone. And then the other week, you know, I think it'll be best to just kind of send out a survey to see what everyone would want to do. Some ideas we have in mind, or maybe like a guest speaker, or maybe meeting in person and doing some sort of, you know, whether it's a speaker or sharing food, hanging out, you know, just some really nice fellowship. Yeah. And so I guess in general, just want to mention that we're really hoping this group to be successful. And, you know, in order for that to happen, we'll definitely be relying on everybody here. You know, attendance is obviously not required, but it will be really helpful for the success of our group for everyone to try to attend most weeks. And, you know, not just for yourself, but then also for the fellow members. You being here is going to be really special and important to everyone. You know, just to mention too, that sometimes in these situations, you know, are you going to show the schedule, Ashley? Okay. Yeah. So over here is just like a little recap of our planned schedule. And just to mention that, you know, there could be times where maybe some sensitive information is shared, and, you know, just asking for everybody to keep whatever shared confidential, you know, and have it remain here in this group. And yeah, we would really appreciate everyone's, you know, sharing and not sharing outside the group when it calls for it not to be. In terms of testimonies, definitely just want to mention that, you know, we would love to hear how everyone has decided, you know, if you've been baptized or not baptized, how you've come to know Christ. And so if you have a story and you're willing to share it, an encounter with Jesus, and you're just feeling compelled whether it's something we're talking about or just something that's on your heart, please feel free to share. Testimonies are so inspiring to other people, and a lot of times you're not really even aware of how your story can touch and positively impact others. So just really want to encourage that. We might kind of open each time and say, is anyone kind of feeling like they want to share at the start of today? And, if you feel like it's your time, the floor will be yours. But otherwise, no pressure on sharing. I guess a couple other things to mention are that we're curious as to how everybody prefers to be contacted. We don't want to bombard people with email or text. So I will, probably send out a little survey, and then you guys can just let us know, like, hey, you can email me or only text. Just don't want to swamp everyone with too much communication. I did set up a Google group. I think it was like 25% effective. So yeah, I think you may have received a request to join the Google group. It's like Eden's Moms at googlegroups.com. If you see that in your inbox, if you can just hit accept, that way I can just send an email to that one alias there, and then everyone will kind of be contacted. That would be awesome. And one last thing to mention is, outside from this group and obviously potentially meeting in person here and there, if you are attending Eden on a Sunday, we would love to kind of see you face to face and connect. So look out for some communication coming from one of us about, where maybe one of us or both of us will be sitting. Maybe we can all plan to sit near each other and or meet somehow after the service. So.
Cool. Any questions on any of that? Okay, and can I do a quick pulse on, in terms of the in-person meetings, just trying to figure out what time would be best. What's everyone's work situation in terms of, are you working outside of the home? Are you not? I just would love to hear.
So I'm not currently working outside of the home, but anywhere that I go, I have to be able to get home by 4:00.
Okay.
Because I have to take an Uber to pick my son up, and I honestly don't know when it'll show up. So yeah, I don't drive. And anywhere that I go to, I will probably get there like by bus, most likely. So basically I would need to know at least like 2-ish hour, like have to be able to leave about 2 hours before the meeting.
And what city are you in, Segan?
I'm in San Jose, like on the Santa Clara border. Like I'm very close to Santa Clara University. I'm like on off the Alameda.
Got it. Okay.
I work part-time out of the home. So the days that I'm not working anytime they're in school is good. After 3, I'm usually, there are 2 different schools 20 minutes apart, one in Saratoga, one in Moscow. So we're, both driving, picking up and taking to different things. But, and then I can sometimes meet certain evenings. If we were to ever need to meet in person on a Monday, my husband would be at the church. We do leave them. We just haven't, I don't think they would go to sleep if we left them at home in the dark, but we do leave them for short times now, for a couple hours. But yeah, I can make something work out.
Oh yeah, I also have
to,
sorry, I have to add on to that, Nicole, because you just reminded me. Absolutely cannot leave the house after after I pick him up, because I'm the only adult in the house until Loki gets home, and he doesn't often get home until after 8:00.
Got it. Okay.
I'd say right now, Monday, Wednesday mornings, it's a half day, and Fridays I can meet during school hours.
For me, I work from home, so I can do mornings or lunch break. Typically, we'll try to hang around so my husband's not stuck with the kids around like dinner times and pickups. And bedtime I can do after like 8 p.m. onwards as well.
Can you hear me? Let's see. So I work Monday through Friday up until 5:30. Ideally, I would love to leave at 5:30. But if I see parents and they stop me, and just depends on ratios. So sometimes I get home like between 5:45 and 6. And then I'm usually the one that cooks dinner. So pretty much, I mean, now works, but I can always plan in advance, like if we meet in person and just tell me to get pizza for dinner. So, hey, I don't have to cook. It's a free pass. So it just depends. So we can plan accordingly. So my husband goes to the Thursday nights group. So Monday nights we're good. So as of right now.
Great. Yeah. I think Melissa wrote all that down. Hopefully. We will find some time mixed in there. It could also end up being something with our kids and our families. I don't see why we couldn't do that. So on a weekend or something like that. So we will bring all that back. So thank you for sharing. Okay, before we end, I think typically how we will always end is I do want to have some dedicated time for prayer. It would be nice if we can each go around and share a prayer request and kind of be able to pray for one another. Don't know exactly how we're going to do that today yet, but why don't we just share prayer requests first? And I know we all just met, but I think you can be however open and share however much you want, but just know that we do want to pray for you, and if you are comfortable, we will write these down and actually send them to each other so that we can be praying for each other throughout the week. So I can start. And yeah, I won't make everyone go, so you can just kind of speak up if you have something. So for me, basically, I was working outside of the home up until last year. I got laid off last summer and then have had kind of a good amount of severance. But anyway, so my kids have always been in full-time daycare. And I currently don't have we didn't share our situations. I don't have a full-time job right now. I am kind of working on my own venture, maybe just exploring kind of creatively, I guess. So kind of doing that part-time. And so this month is the first month I have decided to take my 3-year-old and only have him in school for half days. I'm just a little nervous about it because, I think I've always felt this like mom guilt, I guess, of like wanting, should I be spending more time with my kids? And so, but I also am feeling kind of a pull to spend more time with my kids just because I'm seeing how time is going so fast now, especially after having 2. I feel like time just really speeds up. So I do have this desire and I feel like I just want to give it a try. I think the things I'm nervous about are just, I don't know, my energy levels, what to do. I think, it was just like being home with kids full time was a little bit hard for me to grasp. And I feel like, especially when they were super young, like infants, I found myself not, super enjoying the time. So I think I'm just very curious about what this season will look like.
Mine is kind of for everybody, but I would like to pray for all of us to have the patience and fortitude to get through the next week. I know that being a parent can be very draining, and it's rewarding, but it's also very challenging. So I don't know like who else really struggles with patience with their children, but yeah. But I would just like to pray to have the ability to just be healthy with them, be able to set expectations for them and then respond in like a reasonable way. That's for myself. And also for myself is desperately needing help getting him on a toilet schedule. But okay, so who's next?
I'll just jump in. I like a lot of what you said. And I feel like I definitely struggle with my patience, especially for my 2-year-old. Like, actually for both of them. But the 2-year-old is a bit unhinged at times. And, I just need like a reminder. Like, he's only 2, I don't know what my expectations are, but not throwing food across the room. Like, are you not hungry? Are you really trying to take me there right now? This happens a lot. And the hitting, he likes to hit everybody. And I'm at school, it's not so much an issue. I'm not really sure what's kind of like spiking it at home.
Oh, mine does that too. Hits us and hits himself.
Okay.
Yep, mine too.
Yeah. I guess I'm not alone, but yeah, I really could use the patience there, and I probably should be getting him started on the potty thing too. So you reminded me of that. Yeah, I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to think too. I guess the prayer request is just like, Holy Spirit, I can only do so much. I'm going to pray that you're just going to meet me where I'm at and do the rest, because I can't possibly be this angelic little fairy godmother. So please help me.
Ditto with that. Patience, not just for my kids, but my 16 children in my classroom. So, because that's a lot. I have naughty little 4-year-olds, privileged little children of Cupertino that just try my patience. So, I leave work with 24 kids and they come home to 2. So I totally get it. But just having patience with the little one, and, I have to check myself too. It's like, okay, he's trying to communicate. I get that, but I just need to have a little bit more patience and just try to enjoy it. And yes, so God is answering prayers because I had a lot of bad hats in my classroom. Out of a class of 24 children, I had 6 with behavior issues. And finally, he's opened up doors and they have been weeded out of my classroom. So I'm able this has been the past few months, it's been crazy. So I'm at peace with the kids a little bit because I have those, troublemakers out. But now it's just my coworker that I'm trying to mesh with. 2 different cultures and just 2 different cultures and 2 different types of experience. So I just need to have patience. And my husband has reminded me, well, maybe God put her there for a reason, so you don't have to work so hard, which has been the case nicely. I haven't had to do much work. It's been amazing. Oh, much amazing. Because I'm usually one that takes on the whole load and brunt. So I need to find peace in that and just patience and, how to speak to, and not harshly, just because sometimes you get so frustrated and you just get, so it's just having to be mindful, just, have them order my steps and order my mouth, because sometimes it's the Puerto Rican that comes out sometimes, and it just comes out. So very feisty. So just sometimes I have to like really, 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 I'm still working on that. So, but just, yes, patience is key.
Yeah, I definitely resonates. I got back from a 1-week vacation with my family, and I'm usually used to like childcare for my toddler. So being with like him and the newborn for the whole week, I definitely noticed myself like patience was thinning towards the end. And like definitely getting more like snappy, quicker, and like, you're on vacation, so you're supposed, you feel like you want to enjoy it and have like memories with your kids and stuff, but then you're so like irritable. And then like, I feel like it's like Groundhog Day all the time. Like the weekend rolls around and my husband and I are just like exhausted on Sunday night. And I'm like, Monday morning, it comes around and like daycare opens at 8:30, and I'm like, send him immediately. Like, he's like, I want to eat breakfast at home. I'm like, you're eating breakfast at daycare. So I feel like, yeah, that, and also just energy levels, like adjusting to like the 2-kid thing. Yeah, we're just like, just feel like we're tired all the time. And like sleep, like my newborn's going through like one of those classic sleep regressions at X months. And so it's kind of like feeling like the newborn days again a little bit. And my toddler also is doing this weird thing where he's coming out where he like didn't used to. So I feel like we're a little like getting less sleep and already less sleep. So yeah, just like energy. I think we had COVID like a month or two ago. We never tested positive, but like all the signs were there, and my husband is still battling this like really bad body ache. So that's been kind of challenging as well, just like with dealing with kids and then always feeling like super achy. So I guess there's kind of like a health element there as well. Just like a lot of things going on. So I think prayer is just for like energy and health, to kind of be like physically and mentally like there, for the kids, for ourselves as well. Yeah.
Okay. Patience as well. You still need patience, especially when you're moving in different ways. You're moving into the teen and the tween years. And so there was a little break, and now we're being tested in that area. Just more being 2 years apart, 2 girls, they can be really good friends and then have their arguments. But then also the more moodiness, especially for the 12-year-old who turns 13 in December, and kind of less open communication. And, it's hard to, you want to watch for, okay, is this normal sadness? Is there something else going on? What's going on? And trying to get her to be open and communicate. And for the 10-year-old, she's our stubborn one. It's like from the time she was little and stopped napping at 18 months and would never stay in her room for quiet time or for timeouts or anything. It's like, she's stubborn. Hopefully we funnel it into leadership and all that type of stuff, but it's we can definitely butt heads. And so, managing, your kind of need as a parent to have some kind of control, but then also allowing them to, be more self-sufficient and learn consequences and all that stuff. We're working on that. And then health for my 10-year-old. She's had her third sickness since school started, and this one is just that really bad cough that prolongs. And I took them all to Girl Scout camporee this weekend, a couple hours away, and we were all in one big room together, and nobody slept because her cough was just like that tickle cough, which would lay down. And she's ready to feel better and hopefully not get sick again. And then my 12-year-old Abby is dealing with some shoulder pain, so she might have to go see an orthopedist. And she just told me, after swim tonight, it really started to hurt. So hopefully we can get to the bottom of what's going on with her for that. And then sleep for my husband and I was joking. I was like, are we going to need to turn our office into another bedroom? He's adjusting to sleep apnea mask and this stuff. And he just wake up and rip it off. And then we've been up like every hour. So it's like, it's not the kids, but now it's him waking me up every hour.
See, I told you he's up.
So.
Oh my God, how cute! Hello.
Cute hair.
Say hi, Xander.
Hi,
Say hi.
Xander.
Okay, give him kisses. Go, mwah.
Oh my goodness.
You can say mwah. Okay, you can just sit there.
You're so cute.
Nicole, I appreciate hearing your perspective from having the older children. And I also just got out of a stage of not sharing a bed with my husband because of a toddler. So good to know it can happen again.
Well, yeah. It's like, man, we're not to our 50s yet. We're in our, well, I'll be 44 this year, but I'm like, I'm not ready to start dealing with the things that come as you're in your mid 40s and approaching 50s. It's like,
Yeah.
It's like you mentally still feel young, but then the body.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's real.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for sharing. I think, would like to end in prayer. But I guess before we end, I just want to say thank you again for coming. I know how hard it is to show up at 8 p.m. So I think just to reiterate this group will be just as good as we make it and we show up. I know the last moms group that I was in also met at 8 p.m. and it's totally the time that I want to just give up and just go to bed, or at least lie in bed or something like that. So it can be really hard. So just want to thank you again for showing up. And some of you mentioned kind of intentional time for yourself. So I did find that, when I forced myself to show up, that God really did have something to show me, whether it's something that somebody said or something in the study. It wasn't always the study, right? It was just sometimes maybe it's just something that someone said offhand or something like that. So just want to say thank you. Melissa, is there anything else you want to share before we end in prayer? No? Okay. Well, just know that, also, you don't have to be on camera or just show up however as you are, if you need to run or whatever. We're also open to any new people as well. If any of your friends or anything wants to join next week, there's definitely still time. I think we're open to people still coming. So, okay, why don't we end in prayer? I'll just, I will open us and then let's just do kind of popcorn, meaning if you feel compelled to pray out loud, I'll just kind of leave some time. And then, Melissa, would you mind closing for us after some minutes or some silence? Okay. I think we'll send out the prayer requests after. Don't feel obligated to pray for every single person. And I think, they've been said out loud. So you can just kind of pray for whatever comes to your mind. Okay, let's begin. I'll open for us. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this first meeting of Eden Moms. I thank you so much for each and every person that showed up here. Thank you for Kayla and her presence and just her showing this dedication that the church has to the moms of the church and to our group. I pray for anyone that wasn't able to make it tonight, Lord. I know that there are just so many obstacles that can happen, especially as we're moms, that can hinder us from finding you, finding community, finding time for ourselves, Lord. And so we pray that you would remove any of those distractions or hurdles in the coming weeks. And we pray for this group of women tonight. I think patience was a really big thing that came up for all of us, Lord. And I think none of us can match the level of patience that you have, Lord. And I just pray that you remind each and every one of us to really seek you in that moment, when we're in that exact moment and we're really frustrated. Lord, would you just kind of plant that seed within our mind, Lord, that, you know, we don't need to be having our grip on all of these things, that you can give us this supernatural level of patience that, you know, no human should be able to sustain given the circumstances that we find ourselves in, Lord, but to know that we aren't alone, that you are with us in each and every situation. And just pray that we can be, you know, kinder, more patient, kind of better versions of ourselves that we want to be, Lord. And to know that it's not all in our own power, Lord, but that it's in partnership with you.
Lord, I wanted to thank you for this just amazing group of women. Thank you for the, you know, connection that we're sharing, that we know that we're not alone, and that along with having patience for our children, please grant us to have patience with ourselves as well, and to know that we are doing the best that we can, and to continue to look to you for guidance.
Father, I just thank you for leading Ashley and Melissa to have this group for moms, and this time for ourselves to share and to have fellowship together. I just pray for not only patience, but also for energy, for sleep, and for ways that we can best navigate our week, whether it's how we need to schedule things for work or finding activities to fill the time with our kids. Just help us in the small moments that we do have with them, help us to make the most of the time, and let us just realize, as I look back now, how fast it does go. Let us just enjoy those moments, but let us also not feel guilty when sometimes things are hard and we may not enjoy a certain moment because either as parents or as kids we're just not our best selves that day. So just let us have grace and mercy towards each other and our families as well. And also just patience and support in our families as a whole, with spouses and everything. Help us work as a team.
For this group of moms, I thank you that you just connected us all because we are moms, and I feel like this was really just a gift from you. At least personally, it feels like it just kind of fell on my plate, and it wasn't something I was really looking for, but definitely feel like it's something I need at the same time. I pray for the coming weeks that we would really just learn and grow from each other, just hearing from one another and hearing just through each other's experiences that we would get to kind of share in this journey of being moms together, and really just grow closer to you as well. I know for myself that just with life being busy and not setting aside intentional time, it's really easy to even just forget to spend time in my relationship with you. And I think that just having this kind of outlet will really help me grow closer to you, as well as just grow in this mom role that we all have. And I thank you for just having this group to kind of share that with. Prayers for the upcoming weeks through this study, that it really just be humble and transparent place to really let loose, let guards down, and really embrace all that motherhood has to offer, really through your lens and through each other. So I pray for everyone's week, just for energy levels, that we would draw that from you, that we would find strength in you, just to get through all the kid activities and the meltdowns and the sleep, all the fun stuff. Pray that we would really just circle back to you in those moments where we feel like we're struggling and we feel weak. I pray that we would just be lifted up by you. Amen.
I will close. So, Heavenly Father, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to meet and connect with all of these wonderful women who also happen to be moms. Thank you for connecting us. And, we know that, no matter what happens throughout our day, you see our effort and you see our heart. Our intentions are good. And, we know that the works that we are doing now, whether we have young kids, middle-aged, teen, tween, this is hard work, but it's good work, and it's work that you've granted all of us to serve you with. And we're so blessed by that. Let's not let us forget that, Lord. Thank you. And, wherever there might be gaps, whether it be energy, patience, confusion, again, if you could just meet us where we are and fill in those spaces with your overwhelming presence. To be holy means to be set apart. And we just wish to be just like you, God, to mirror your holiness in the capacity that we best can. Prayers for a wonderful week ahead and great weekend. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Everyone, same time next week.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye.